Welcome back, Ruby Shoers. We're hanging with one of the most fun winemakers on the Central Coast today, and he makes some mighty fine wines as well. We're with Tobin James, and the wine tasting room is so much fun, but it's not often you get to come hang at the winemakers and the owner's house, and that's where we are today because you built a nice little pad here, Toby.
Just finished it, yeah.
Nice.
So this is a groundbreaking event right now.
Now, did you pick this place because you're in one of the best places for grapes, where you're...
You know, I always wanted to, I tell the guys that were working on this house that I point down to Vineyard Drive there, and I said, you know, 35 years ago I drove grapes up and down that road making minimum wage, and so now it's fun to be on this hill overlooking the same road.
Yeah, and some of the best wineries and best grapes come from right here. We're going to start drinking now. Let's start with your Riesling. It's not in any of the shipments, but we do have it in the shop. And so why don't you pour a little wine while we get going here? So Tobin James is obviously the namesake of his winery. He's also kind of a legend around these parts because you did wine your own style. You were very anti-wine spectator when you first started out.
Yeah, we made our own path in the wine industry, kind of on instinct, and we didn't make wine the way you might read in a book. We made wine what we thought our customers wanted, and that's a lot of fruit and lots of character. I call it personality. Wines that have personality, and they certainly food friendly. Yeah. And the Riesling here is, I love the Riesling because of the fruitiness of it. It's a time and place wine. It's more of a maybe Sunday morning with brunch kind of a wine.
It's a breakfast wine.
Yeah, it's a breakfast wine. I hate to say it like that, but we have champagne that also is a breakfast wine. But I love,
cheers.
This wine always shows you what grapes can do. It's so different than any other grape. Real flowery.
Yeah.
Delicate.
Some Rieslings are very syrupy, and yours isn't.
No, we like to keep our Riesling with lots of fruit and flowery, but crisp, nice crisp flavor to it.
Boy, I got a lot of melon in that.
Lots of melon, apricot, a little bit of an apricot to it.
That is just kind of like having a fruit salad for breakfast.
Yeah, it's like a bowl of fruit in your glass.
Seriously. Now, I'm tasting so much fruit today, I'd almost put that over fruit. No?
Yeah, definitely. It would be, you'd serve it with something light, lighter foods, but on a Sunday morning, even some eggs or something.
Now, tell me this, because this is something I'm experiencing with this Riesling that has only happened a few more times. Sometimes with these tastings, we've sat out here and set up the chutes, and the wine's a little warmer than I would normally serve it, and I think I might like this better than chilled on ice.
Yeah, definitely. This has so much fruit that sometimes you want to get it cold to tame the fruit in it, and I think I'd prefer this a little bit colder myself. But
no, I'm saying I kind of like it warm.
Yeah, well, the more you can get used to wines being not ice cold, the better you're off, because a lot of times it's just what you were kind of raised or you were taught to like it ice cold. But it's amazing how if like in England they drink their beer warm. Now, how's that possible? I still can't do that, but.
This is lovely, and I would definitely, if you order this, I would try it a little bit warm because I think I like it better this way. So
and it's, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. This is what you want to have. You don't want to drink a Cabernet at an early hour.
That's lovely. Okay, so Tobin, I want to not have people blocked your handsome face. You came out here in the late 70s, early 80s, and not with a big chunk of change in your pocket, and you've kind of built an empire, but you really did grow up through the wine industry.
Yeah, I came out, I had a two-way airplane ticket. I only used half of it. And somebody said, "Where's the other half?" And I go, "I don't know, I wish I had it." But, I always had the plan that, I had that if it didn't work out, I would just go back home to where my family is and, be welcomed back into the family. And, but I never left. Yeah. Actually, I was born in California, San Francisco. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a Californian.
But raised in kind of the
Yeah, the Midwest, down by Cincinnati and Kentucky and Indiana,
Okay.
on a 35-acre vineyard that my brother started. So I
And-
grew up driving tractors and plowing fields and all that stuff.
And then a man named Gary Eberly who came out and was kind of dealing with your brother, and you said, I'm going to come learn the wine business, right?
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to learn how the big boys did it in California. Then I was going to go back, but I never left. I stayed here.
Came out for harvest and stayed, and now has Tobin James Winery. And you go into your tasting room on a weekend, and it is packed.
Yep. Today, I would think 800 people will go through that tasting room today.
You are definitely, you know, we always talk about on Ruby Shoes that no snobs allowed in Ruby Shoes, that if you're a wine snob, you don't fit in the Ruby Shoes gang. And that's, I mean, you're a perfect fit for that, because there's not a snob factor at Tobin James in any level of the business.
You know, everybody's welcome, but, you know, I tell everybody there's this many wine drinkers in the United States, this many are snobs. I'm going for these guys down here, you know. So, I mean, we love the cotton farmer out of Hanford, and you know, the people that they like wine, but they don't have, it's not the most important thing in their lives. They just enjoy it with their family and their friends and don't get overboard about it. They're curious about it, and it's just one aspect of their life. It doesn't have to dominate their life.
Yeah, and you don't want anyone to feel intimidated, because there are
Right.
some tasting rooms that you can go into, and you feel like you have to know about wine to even go in there and taste.
Yeah, you know, it's I don't know, you know, Americans grow up intimidated by wine, think they have to know a lot about it, when you really don't. Learn a little bit at a time. And at Tobin James, we don't lecture you. Ask us a question and we'll answer it, you know, but you know, just gracefully learn a little bit at a time. It doesn't take a long time to understand wine. You got to practice, though. I know you're good at that, huh?
All right, one more question before we go through the shipment here. You're known for your parties.
Yeah, you know, I grew up in a family, there's 10 kids in our family, so, you know, parties were, you know, every weekend there was a party somewhere, and, you know, like I say, everybody's welcome when we throw a party, and they start to get pretty big, and I tell people if we didn't make such good wine, we'd throw parties for a living.
But they do both. The last party I went to at his place, 5 bands, like 30+ food vendors, and we're talking awesome food, lamb and
Yeah.
oysters on the half shell, and it's an experience. So we want you to come out and check out Tobin James, because that's part of the deal, is the Tobin experience, and we're getting a little bit of it today. Okay, let's move on. So